So round three, Sosa versus Makani. Arceus Cheese versus Goodra. I think Goodra is probably favored in this matchup. There's a Goodra prize for Sosa, which is pretty bad. And I guess going first is probably going to be a pretty big deal as well. But my guess would be that Goodra is favored in this matchup. Now, Sosa doesn't play a ton of healing. The only real healing that Sosa has is from the Goodra's ability, which does full heal it. But and pretty good start here from Sosa as well. Battle VIP pass, has the Greninja. Sosa also doesn't play any way to find basic Pokemon. Play 0 ways to find basic Pokemon besides Battle VIP pass and then a couple capture energy. So those are the only ways to find basics. Gets the Goodra though. Actually has a really good hand. This hand is actually kind of insane. Here comes the Greninja to draw 2. And probably should try and flood the board with the Comfeys. And just like get a lot into the Lost Zone. I don't love the capture energy on the Goodra too much. I think you'd maybe want to save that to be able to pivot between your Comfeys. Like, you don't need... So the one thing is, like, Sosa doesn't play Hyper Potion or anything like that. It's the only way to heal is just the ability. But plays 4 Mirage Gates. So you don't really need to preemptively set up energy here as Sosa, I feel like, onto your Goodra. Excuse me. I feel like you can do it kind of all in one turn. Like, set up the Goodra all in one turn. Here comes the Comfey use. I think there's 2 Chorus in the hand here for Sosa. So I would like to see Sosa have like kept this energy in the hand to potentially pivot a Comfey to a Comfey. Or even end the turn with like a Comfey with the energy. We don't know how many switch cards you're going to hit as Sosa. But so far, game 1 is looking real good for Sosa. Keeps benching. I also don't like this from Sosa. Keeps benching the second Comfey back down. I mean, you're probably going to bench it, but you should wait. Because one thing that actually could happen here from Sosa is you could draw into like a Battle VIP pass, and you could Battle VIP pass for like 2 more Comfeys on the bench, and you might not want this Comfey specifically back on the bench, but you do want the rest of the Comfeys out of your deck. So I don't like this Comfey getting benched back down immediately from Sosa. You should wait until you see what you're drawing. I think Sosa has all 4 Chorus in the hand here, actually, which is not terrible. It's actually not a great thing for Sosa, because now if Makani plays Marnie, all of Sosa's Chorus are going to the bottom of the deck. That's what I was talking about as well. Like, you could have had this capture energy on the active Comfey here, or even on the bench Comfey, and that way you just have like a pivot set up off of a Comfey. Like, you could also just draw into another energy and pivot out of a Comfey later instead of pivoting out of the Goodra. But I think having the energy set up on the Comfey, I like a little bit more. I guess no, maybe that doesn't make any sense for actually how Sosa sequenced out their turn. Actually, never mind. I'm like kind of tripping on that actually, because Sosa wouldn't have been able to net chain the Comfey if the capture energy was on a Comfey. So no, this makes sense the way Sosa played the energy actually. But the thing I didn't like is Sosa played the energy before using... it didn't really matter too much anyways. No, I think I'm fine with the way Sosa played the energy, actually. I'm just, like, overthinking that. All right, heavy ball off the rip from Makani. I don't think took anything. And like I said, this actually opening for Sosa is weird, because if Makani does have a Marnie, so this could get really bad for Sosa really fast. Preemptively benching Comfey is definitely suboptimal. Yeah, it'll probably make its way to the bench, but you don't know for sure if it'll make its way to the bench, so you shouldn't bench it down immediately. It's one of those things where it's like the chance of it punishing you is low, but if it does punish you, you're going to be feeling pretty bad. And grabs the Empoleon, so Makani might have like Retreat to Empoleon plus Marnie here, which would actually be really, really bad for Sosa, because all 4 of Sosa's Chorus are in the hand. Sosa also does play 3 Marnie, but you do need to get to that Mirage Gate so you could potentially attack turn 2 with Goodra. I think that's going to be the major game plan here for both decks here, is to attack turn 2. Like, you want to go first, attack turn 2, and kind of go from there. So when you go first, you definitely want to be able to pull off that turn 2 attack, but if the Empoleon makes its way into the active here with 4 Chorus on the bottom of the deck, it's going to be hard for Sosa to pull off a turn 2 attack. And there's the Air Balloon for Makani, and a double Turbo Energy to the Empoleon and pass. So... really hoping that Sosa doesn't have a way to, or doesn't get an escape rope here, which I don't know if Sosa was expecting the Empoleon here from Makani. Yeah, I don't know if like Sosa was expecting the Empoleon from Makani. It's a Sinnoh and a Cram. Could definitely see a Sinnoh hit the field here. Attaches to the Comfey. I almost would just like the attach to the Goodra at this point, to be honest, I think. Yeah. Puts a Sinnoh in play, and then there's the Marnie. Sinnoh going to be a little bit annoying for Makani here. And the Goodra is close to being set up. One other thing about... Nets the Comfy, sends up the Cram. But I think Sosa forgets here that Cram can't attack because of the Empoleon. Yeah, definitely forgot. All right, yeah, Sosa, definitely a mistake there from Sosa. I don't, no, I don't think I like the net on the Cram there, or the net on the Comfy there. Especially with the Temple of Sinnoh in play, you don't know if Makani's going to be able to actually pull off an attack this turn. There's the Starbird, though, so Makani will be able to pull off an attack, or should be able to pull off an attack. We should see, like, Collapsed plus Water Energy, and then try and keep the Empoleon in the active as long as possible to be slowing Sosa down. Giving some thought on what to take here. I think has a boss in hand as well, so could boss up the Goodra. But past that, doesn't have any draw supporters to work with. I appreciate the 20-month resub there, newbie. Definitely needs to collapse. I think that might be... Let me check. Yeah, Makani's only out. Oh, no, has a Punkaboo as well. So Makani has 2 outs to the Temple of Sinnohs, and Israel does play 3 Temple of Sinnoh. So Israel can 100% win the Stadium War. But Makani does play a lot of basic energy as well, so it's not like a huge deal. Has collapsed, has the water, has the boss. So it might just take a knockout on the active here. Make sure you draw a prize card, get something else to work with. But goes for the boss. So going to put the pressure on the Goodra. But this is awkward for Makani because Makani can't guarantee to attack next turn. I don't know if I like this play from Makani. Because then you're hoping Sosa didn't draw very well. And Sosa's still in an awkward spot because Sosa wasn't able to shuffle their deck last turn. So still all 4 Colvers for Sosa are on the bottom of the deck. So it goes for the hit. And over to Sosa. Has a boss. No way to move the Goodra, though. Could attack with the Goodra. I forget what the Goodra V's attack is, though. There's a boss. Boss is up the Arceus V. I like that from Sosa. Gonna go with the hard retreat. Of course, there is the Mirage Gates in the deck, though. So we'll be able to potentially recover. Gets rid of Water Energy. Gets the Goodra V-Star. Has, like, not much else. Actually, he's probably pretty close to 7. Does have a Mirage Gate in hand, but I don't think it's quite at 7 yet. Another Comfy to the bench. I don't want to forget that. And then pass over to Makani here is probably going to be the play here from Sosa. I can't imagine doing anything else. Oh, there's the V-Star power for the heal. This does play around like retreat to Arceus boss. I wouldn't play around that as Sosa here, though. I think that's actually a mistake there from Sosa. Like, if Makani has energy to Arceus, switch card boss in a 4-card hand with no Starbirth access, I would just give it to Makani and go to game 2, to be honest. Because this is already such an awkward situation. If Makani just has retreat plus attack, Makani's in such a good spot anyways. If Makani has the retreat attached boss KO your Goodra V, I would just give Makani the win. Because once you pull off an attack with Goodra, what do you have? Let's see, you have 170 HP left, minus 80, looking at 250. So if Israel can attack with Goodra before you use its ability, Israel can get off an attack with Goodra, then it gets hit, then you'd be able to heal all of that damage. So I think that's a mistake there from Sosa. I think you should just been like, all right, if you have that combo, let's just go to game 2, and I'm fine with that. And there's the attached pass from Makani. Capture Energy top deck here from Sosa. Should start with, actually, oh no, it doesn't matter here. I was going to say, actually, I would like to see Sosa play the Capture Energy first to shuffle the deck, but actually, because Sosa's bench is at 4 and there's a Collapse Stadium in play, Sosa can't play the Capture Energy. Yeah, Sosa can't play the Capture Energy here and actually search the deck because there's nothing to search for. The Escape Rope's awkward. You definitely don't want to play that here as Sosa, but it would be that versus... Yeah, actually... this is actually just a mistake from Sosa. Definitely shouldn't have played the Escape Rope yet. I think what Sosa should have done first here... There's 2 ways. There's 2 plays Sosa could have done here. Could have gone hard retreat the Comfy to the other Comfy. Use Comfy, get 7 in the Lost Zone, then play the Mirage Gate to shuffle the deck. Or the other play would have been to use Greninja to draw 2 to try and find a way to get the other Comfy to the Comfy. But when you play the Escape Rope, Makani's just going to send up the Empoleon, which means you can't use Comfy anymore, or Cramorant. So now I think this is once again another mistake from Sosa. The Escape Rope should have never been played first. It's possible towards the end of the turn you might play the Escape Rope. But what Sosa should have started with was either retreat Comfy to Comfy, use Comfy, or use Greninja with the Capture Energy out of hand. Then maybe the Escape Rope sees play. But now it's kind of awkward for Sosa. I don't even know. He does still have a boss, so can still use this boss at some point, but... there's the boss, and then there's the other Comfy. I guess maybe you always play it this way though, Sosa. Now I'm like rethinking it myself, actually, to be honest. I guess maybe that is fine. You play the escape rope. You know you're going to play the boss. I think we still use Greninja first here as Sosa, though. Well, no. Okay. Maybe actually, no. Maybe Sosa is onto something here with this play, actually. Because now you can get to 7. Okay, actually, I think Sosa's correct here. I was second guessing it, but now the way I'm seeing it play out, because now you can play the Barrage Gate. Now you even got the Ordinary Rod, so you can play Ordinary Rod first. I don't know if you want to play the Ordinary Rod, though, because you don't want to play Ordinary Rod and fill your deck up with energy if you don't need to. And I don't know how many waters and metals are in here. There's not a ton. So this is why checking your prize cards is super important, because if there's no, because now when Sosa plays this Mirage Gate, there's going to be extra energy. So I actually like this Mirage Gate sequence here from Sosa, unless there was no extra waters in the deck. But if there was a water and a metal already in the deck, then you shouldn't play the Ordinary Rod yet, because you don't actually want more basic energy in your deck. So we Mirage Gate to the Goodra, and then we use Greninja to discard the capture energy. Okay, actually, I like how the sequence actually ended up playing out here for Sosa, to be honest. At first, I was a little skeptical, but I see what's happening. Ooh, and then we actually get the Mirage Gate again, and there was a water and a metal. So definitely, like I said, definitely a mistake from Sosa to use the Ordinary Rod, but it's fine. Got the water, got the metal. And now Sosa can actually retreat and actually maybe even knock out the Espeon. I don't know how much HP the Espeon has. There's the retreat. Here comes the Goodra, and it is a knockout. Okay. And we could have been at a point, where the Goodra still had the VSTAR power. Once again, I didn't like Israel using the VSTAR power. So we could have had the VSTAR power to work with here as well. The only real thing that I feel like Sosa has to look out for is not overextending the energy in play, so Espeon can kind of punish you. In this game in particular, there is no Espeon to worry about anymore. Took out the Espeon B, but for future games, I think it's like the only thing to really worry about. There's the capture energy, and then here comes the Trinity Nova for 100 damage. And then the Aerodactyl is going to be the heavy hitter in this matchup. Let me see how much does it hit for. I forget how much it hits for. 240 minus 80, so we're looking at 160. So currently it doesn't actually KO the Goodra. But Sosa's not going to be able to win this game with one Goodra. Is going to need that other Goodra that is prized. We'll see how long it takes for Israel to get there. Also has a second Ordinary Rod, so we could see Sosa go with second Ordinary Rod to recover Goodra V, get Goodra V back into play. Let's see. Has a Marnie in hand right now, I think. Might be a boss. I don't think so, though. Yeah, the Aerodactyl is looking a little scary. Not too scary. And it also does start to mill Makani's deck every time it attacks, so. And just going to be a hit. Okay. Just going to hold on. Just hold on and hit. Could have used Greninja there. Sosa chose not to use Greninja. Yeah, I think it is a Marnie in the hand there for Sosa. Could have played the Marnie as well. So the one thing that Sosa could be digging for here could be Ordinary Rod. To be able to recover the Goodra V if you can't find it off the prize cards. Like if the Goodra V's in the last 2 prize cards, then. Yo, I appreciate the 32 months there, Fancy Cat. Like mats or dual mats better, and why? Mats. They just feel better to me. Capture energy to the Arceus. Surprised they didn't say anything to Sosa for having discard on top, deck at the bottom. That's actually interesting, Pablo, because yeah, I feel like they usually do say something, but I actually had a friend who plays that way who didn't have. They were like, it was like fine for them to play that way. Okay, Arceus. Oh, the Aerodactyl attacked with the other attack. I don't even know what this thing does. Hold up, let me read this attack real fast. Rock Crunch, fighting colorless, 120, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Discards the metal. Sosa does have another metal in hand. So that's not going to be a big deal. Found the Ordinary Rod as well. Probably doesn't need the Vacuum. And got the Sinnoh to bump the Collapsed. And has the metal in hand. And we'll be able to Ordinary Rod now this Goodra back. So we see metal come down. Doesn't put down the Temple of Sinnoh. That's interesting there from Sosa. Maybe doesn't want to open up the bench space for... No, but Makani has a bench space to work with. I would have probably thrown that down there as Israel. Because you want to potentially be able to bench a Goodra V plus maybe something else. Also take away the special energy options from Makani. Maybe not. Maybe it's not that important to put down right now. I think I would have thrown it down. Now you see now Makani Marnies you and it's another card going back to your deck. If Makani had 0 bench space to work with, I don't think I would have put the Temple of Sinnoh down. But because Makani has 1 bench space to work with, I think if I was Sosa, I would have wanted another bench space to work with myself. Doesn't have the Ordinary Rod anymore. That's like the big deal here. And didn't get a KO on this last turn. So there's no... there's a Crowback grab there from Makani. Curious as to what they're digging for here. Yeah, there's no way to get another Goodra V in play as Sosa. And that might be what comes to like kind of like end this game here for Sosa. Once again, this kind of goes back to, like I kind of mentioned that Sosa could have held onto the VSTAR power for longer. I think definitely could have. And Sosa not doing that, we see is coming kind of around to punish him, because Sosa could have like used the VSTAR power last turn and healed another 100 damage off the Goodra. So that could be like a big turning point as well. All right, there's the Aerodactyl VSTAR from Makani. If they want to use it, it does do a lot of damage. It definitely KOs this Goodra. Actually, it might be the only thing that KOs this Goodra. I don't know if an Arceus even would KO this Goodra here. So I think Makani has to use the Aerodactyl. And heal. With the heal doesn't really matter. Oh, it does stop. Nothing super relevant going to the loss zone. I guess the Pumpkaboo could matter. And the heal actually does matter because Cram can't get the KO now, actually. All right, so Israel's got to do some digging here. Has to find that Ordinary Rod. So something Israel could have done. It's weird, though, because like for Israel, the only way to find your basic Pokemon is Capture Energy or Battle VIP Pass. And you can't use Battle VIP Pass past the first turn. But Israel did have the Capture Energy in hand, so could have played the Capture Energy first to shuffle the deck, and then play the Colress after to try and find the Ordinary Rod, which is on the bottom of the deck because of Marnie. I'm not sure about that sequence, though, because Capture is also your way to find... Capture Energy is also your way to find the what's it called, Goodra. Actually, but no, that's the only way to shuffle the deck for Sosa is Capture Energy or Ordinary Rod. So I think it's 100% correct there for Israel to have attached the Capture Energy first, because actually the only way for Sosa to actually shuffle the deck is Capture Energy or Ordinary Rod, but the Ordinary Rod's on the bottom of the deck and what you need to find. So it was actually correct for Sosa to play Capture Energy first to shuffle the deck, because you have to find that Ordinary Rod. And then you hope the Colress finds the Ordinary Rod, and then you hope some combination of Comfey plus Greninja can find the Goodra. So definitely a mistake there from Sosa to not attach Capture first here. Or actually could have played one of those, the Mirage Gate in the hand. I think Sosa still has 4 Mirage Gate left. So actually, I think the sequence I would like to see was from Sosa would be play Mirage Gate, maybe take an energy out of the deck, depends how many energy are left, and then that shuffles the deck, and then you play the Colress as Sosa, try and find the Ordinary Rod, keep the Capture to then find the Goodra V. So Sosa should have started the turn with playing the Mirage Gate, because right now the Ordinary Rod's trapped on the bottom of the deck. And now we're just still digging down, but this isn't going to ever lead to us finding the Ordinary Rod. We never find the Ordinary Rod with this sequence from Sosa. And I don't know if Sosa realizes that or not. More Crams coming down. There's a switch into the Cram. Yeah, we can't ever find the Ordinary Rod unless we shuffle the deck first. And there's just a punch on the Aerodactyl. So this will probably put Sosa behind in the prize exchange. The board state's a little bit awkward for Makani, but I think we'll probably see Makani go back into the Empoleon this turn, depending on how much energy Makani has left. Because one thing that could happen is the Empoleon could get trapped in the active. We see them aggressively thinning out the deck here. Gets the Flying P. Quick Balls that away. Gets the Drapion. But yeah, attacking with Empoleon would definitely be best here for Makani. If the second Air Balloon is left in the deck for Makani, that's probably what you go for. Yeah, there's the setup. And there's a Marnie. I'm not sure I love that Marnie there from Makani, unless you're really trying to not hard retreat your Aerodactyl. I guess you do need to find another energy for your Empoleon a little bit later on, though. Comes the hard retreat. Retreat to the Empoleon. And actually, Makani has a... Charon's Care in hand, so could put this double turbo energy onto the damaged Arceus, and then Charon's Care the Arceus to get the energy back and attack again with the Empoleon. I think I would like to have seen that from Makani, to be honest. Okay, Ordinary Rod for Israel. Finally sees it. The Marnie gets them into it. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Marnie from Makani, because like you do want to find more energy so you can continue attacking, but then it's like, okay, Sosa didn't find a Goodra V last turn. Does Marnie them give them more outs to the Goodra V? Which the answer is yes, and it does give Sosa more outs to the Goodra V. Gets a Cram. I don't like the Cram grab here from Sosa. I don't think you're ever using that third Cram. I could be wrong. It could play out where you want that third Cram. But I feel like you want one Cram to KO the Aerodactyl, and then you're hoping to win the game with the Goodra. So I'm not a huge fan of the Cram grab, I don't think. I did grab some energy as well. And does have a Marnie and a Colress. We'll probably see the Colress here. And I would finally like to see this Temple of Sinnoh. And once again, I feel like Sosa once again is getting kind of punished for not putting that Temple of Sinnoh in play. We saw Makani had kind of free reign with the double turbo energy. I never really needed that 5th bench space. So once again, I think a mistake from... Oh, no. Okay. So Sosa didn't put the Temple of Sinnoh in play so they could utilize Capture Energy. I forgot about that interaction. Never mind. Don't mind me. So the reason Sosa didn't put the Temple of Sinnoh in play is because Sosa needed to be able to use Capture Energy, potentially to find the Goodra V. We see still Sosa has not found Goodra V, and there's just a pass. Of course, can't use the Comfies. Could have used Greninja. There was an energy in hand there for Sosa. I think Sosa hasn't used Greninja every time Empoleon's been in the active. I don't know. I'm sure I want to bet Sosa knows that you can use Greninja. Maybe I'm wrong on that, actually. But there's been a couple times Sosa hasn't used Greninja. But also, Sosa is low on energy here. He needs to save the energy to make sure that he can actually attack with another Goodra. All right, Ultra Ball for Arceus V from Makani. Needs to find a way to move this Empoleon or attack with it again. That's what I was saying. I kind of like the idea of moving this double turbo that Makani moved from the Empoleon to the Arceus. You could have moved it to this Arceus, and I think Makani has the Charon's Care in hand. Of course, if you get Marnie, that play's not available, but if you can't attack in general, there's the Charon's Care. Oh, but the Charon's Care also recovers the air balloon, but then you don't get to keep the Empoleon in the active. So I think I would have liked the double turbo to go there, so you could have attacked with Empoleon again. You do get to attack this turn as Makani, but you don't get to attack with Empoleon, which is definitely worse, because this does give Israel access to the Comfies on the next turn. Loads up a water on the Empoleon. Has at least one double turbo left. There's a cram send up from Israel. Israel really needs to find this Goodra V. Has energy left in the deck. Water and metal in hand. Goes for a boss on the Aerodactyl. So it's going for the prize card this turn. I'm not a huge fan of this, though. I don't know how this ever wins. Yeah, I don't like this play from Sosa. Actually, this always loses Sosa the game, I feel like. I feel like Sosa always loses because of this play, right? Because now Makani's going to go push. Ends up pushing Empoleon, which I like. Goes push Empoleon. But now Makani goes attack. Boss attack. I feel like Sosa needed to go. Actually, I don't even know if that would have made a difference. If you get the V down as Sosa this turn versus next turn, does it really make a difference? I guess you still always lose the boss. But now Sosa has to like send up the Goodra V to be hit ahead of time. Isn't Goodra prized? There is a Goodra prize, but there's also one in the deck that Sosa could have gotten if they had played Marnie. If Sosa played Marnie this turn, they could have found a Goodra V. They did get the one off the prize cards here. Connie's counting the remaining energy, it looks like. The Empoleon can attack. Goes with a research. Gets rid of a switch. Not many cards left in deck for Makani. Actually, is it just one? But if there is a boss left, then this should just win Makani the game. Attack this turn, boss next turn. Because I don't think Sosa... Well, Sosa might be able to get Comfy and Greninja out of play, but then is the Goodra going to survive, would be the question. I don't know how many net Sosa has left. Not many cards left in deck. The only draw supporter in hand is the Marnie as well, which would reset Makani's hand. Isn't that on the Comfy? Goodra up. Temple of Sinnoh now. And there's the Marnie. So Makani is not decking out. I think Makani only has one card left in deck. Yeah, it was an interesting decision earlier on from Sosa. You could either bump with the Temple of Sinnoh, but if you do that, you can't use capture energy. And if you choose not to bump with Temple of Sinnoh, then you allow Makani to continue to abuse the double turbo energy. There's just the pass from Sosa. So if there's a boss from Makani, Makani wins. Makani's already played through. Makani only plays 2 boss. I don't know how many boss are left for Makani here. Also, just hitting the active is pretty good here from Makani. Got a 3-card deck left. Sosa would need Evolve plus the Mirage Gate to actually pull off an attack next turn. He just shuffle both energy to the bottom of the deck, the water and the metal. So, all right, there's the punch. There's a boss in the deck here for Makani. Just didn't draw it. Punch for 180. But even if you take 80 less next turn... Actually, no, it is 200 because of the Temple of Sinnoh. All right, we should go to game 2 here as Sosa. The top deck is bad. Even if the top deck was a Mirage Gate, if you have 200 damage on you, minus 80, you're still taking 100. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the game is always lost there for Sosa. I think Sosa probably should have conceded a little bit sooner. Maybe there was some weird play where like a boss would be able to trap something on Makani's board. I don't think... I mean, it wouldn't have happened. Makani still had a double turbo left, I believe, but... Yeah, like I said, I definitely think it's a favorable matchup for Israel. There's a couple things I didn't like from Israel's play. I think the VSTAR power was used too early. I think Sosa was playing a little bit scared of a play that was unlikely to happen. It looks like the judges are flipping Sosa's prize. Once again, prize the Goodra V, which is not good. But I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest. Pricing, actually, it's in the last 2 prize cards. That's pretty rough. But the matchup I do think is favorable here for Israel. I think it is a favorable matchup here for Israel. Looks like a mulligan as well for Makani. The Aerodactyl's prize, which is the heavy hitter in this matchup, and it's in the last 2 prize cards as well. So not going to find that this game either, probably. See how good of a start Sosa has. Back at it with the Comfy Battle VIP Pass. Looking for a Comfy. Yeah, unfortunately, the Goodra is prized. It's going to be annoying. So might grab Greninja here. Might grab Goodra. We'll see what Sosa goes for. We'll also see what else is in the hand. Goes for second Comfy. And then hopefully this game, Sosa actually gets off a turn 2 attack with the Goodra. Got a net, so a lot of Comfy uses coming up, but not much else besides that, it looks like. Here comes number 1. Goodra, VSTAR, or Switch. The Switch is pretty nice. In a hand where you don't have too much to dig with. But you do need to find a Goodra VSTAR at some point to attack. 1, 2, Vacuum or Parasol. Actually, goes with the Parasol. Okay, that's okay against the... Yeah, Sosa did just get attacked by the Aerodactyl V, so I guess that's reasonable. The nice thing about the Vacuum, though, is the Vacuum does increase your loss zone size potentially a turn sooner. So I don't hate the Vacuum hold there from Sosa. Ninja or Energy. You hate to see those choices. Oh, goes with the Energy over the Greninja? Okay, that's an interesting choice. Doesn't put down the Temple of Sinnoh. I don't know how much I like that from Sosa. Turn 1 Temple of Sinnoh. It takes away your capture energy on your next turn, but it does stop the Trinity charge from Makani potentially, and it looks like Makani does have that Trinity charge here. Has an Ultra Ball in hand, so could go grab something else. And probably is going to eye up that Espeon. Maybe the Empoleon again. I don't know. The Empoleon seems like it's going to be a turn slow here, though. So I don't know if I like the Empoleon grab here for Makani. Actually, Makani is thinking about grabbing Luminion for Marnie. That's actually super interesting. Luminion for Marnie when they had the research in hand. I wonder what's in the hand here for Makani that they're trying to conserve. These last 2 cards must be pretty important for Makani to want to put them back in the deck. I'm actually very curious to know what these 2 cards are. I think one of them was a Hyper Potion. I don't know what the other one is, though. I think one of them was a Hyper Potion. So yeah, had the research, could have just played the research and Ultra Ball for like a different Pokemon to Trinity charge to. Very interesting choice there from Makani. Draws into the Espeon, and not much else though from what I can see. Boss, Double Turbo, Quick Ball. And here we go, Trinity charge. Hopefully checks and sees that the Aerodactyl's prized. The Aerodactyl V-Star anyways. So probably going to look to get the Espeon in range, and then also maybe put an energy on the active Arceus. So maybe you go like 2 to Espeon, 1 to Arceus, 1 to Espeon, 1 to Arceus, 1 to Luminion, just so you can shuffle it back into the deck at some point. Okay, I like that. And then the Lightning to the Espeon. Okay, so Espeon's energy away, and so is the Arceus. Here come the Flower Selectings. Net reset. There's a Colress, and get rid of Battle VIP Pass. So we're going to get to 7 here for Sosa. Doesn't have the V-Star yet, and still needs a Mirage Gate, but is getting pretty close. Here we go, Colress. The Parasol. Sort of cramming metal. I was going to say we could get rid of the Parasol here, but it's apparently really afraid of that Aerodactyl's attack. Doesn't want to have to deal with Aerodactyl. All right, another net. Another Comfy. Still no V-Star. 1 did hit the loss zone. There's none prized, though. So there's still 2 left in the deck. 2 switch cards in hand here for Sosa. Definitely thought Empoleon stopped Greninja. That's the way it seemed. I'm not going to lie. There's Comfy again. Gets rid of the escape rope up to 9. I mean, we're past the count where it matters. There was no Mirage Gate actually here either for Sosa. Yeah, I think Sosa is just whiffing here. Temple of Sinnoh comes out. Like I said, I would have hated to see Temple of Sinnoh hit the field from Sosa last turn to stop a Trinity charge. And stop Makani from being that much further ahead. Temple of Sinnoh comes out this turn. But now Starbirth to bump it isn't going to be an issue at all. There's an escape rope in the hand here for Sosa, which I think is Sosa's debating using. So once again, no turn to attack for Sosa, even though they went first, which is kind of the goal in this matchup, I feel like, for both players. You want to go first, you want to turn to attack and try to snowball your lead from there. Like I said, I do favor Sosa. I think I favor Sosa if you can set up 2 Goodra, though. And I think, I mean, that's been a struggle for Sosa so far in the last game. And it might be a struggle for Sosa this game as well, because there is still a Goodra prized. So eyeing up the Pumpkin here for Makani. What else would Makani grab? Or what is Makani going to do with this? Because the rest of the hand wasn't good last turn. I don't know what the top deck here for Makani. It might just be into another Trinity Charge, to be honest. It might be into a Trinity Charge here. We'll see. Oh, attach another double turbo active and then play the Marnie. So valuing keeping the boss and putting a double turbo on the active. So we're not going to be swinging very hard with this Arceus VSTAR here. Fresh hand for Israel, and definitely going to find them. Like I said, probably going to find them a VSTAR, and I think Israel actually just has the VSTAR in hand already. There's the Espeon, but as long as Sosa doesn't put too much energy in play, the Espeon's not going to be hitting very hard. So like if you just have 3 energy in play as Sosa, it only hits for 180. So the better thing to load up here is Makani, I think. I don't know. I think maybe the Espeon's a little bit of a trap here for Makani, because like the idea of the Espeon is like kind of cool. I appreciate the 17-month resub there, Soul. The idea of the Espeon's kind of cool. It's like, oh, if they put more than 3 energy in play, I'm hitting pretty hard with my Espeon. But it's like, why would Israel ever put more than 3 energy cards in play? There's like no reason to, especially when you put the Espeon in play. You'd never do it, right? I feel like the Espeon's a little bit of a trap. Espeon still gets 2-hit KO'd, but it's worth 3 prize cards. So if you end up with something like Pumpkaboo in play that can get 1-hit KO'd pretty easily, then it allows Sosa to go like 2-3-1 or 1-2-3, whatever you want to say. 3-2-1. Yeah, I feel like the Espeon's a little bit of a trap. It's like, oh, theoretically, it seems like it's better than setting up an Arceus, but an Arceus with 3 basic energy just hits for 200 damage, which is more than the Espeon, and it's only worth 2 prize cards. So I actually just feel like setting up Espeon in this matchup as Makani is always just like a mistake. Like you should just try and set up a bunch of Arceus and the Aerodactyl and just go that route. I guess it does prevent... Okay, so one thing setting up the Espeon does do for Makani, it does prevent Sosa from being able to set up the second Goodra very aggressively. I don't know if I like this Cram Grab from Sosa, to be honest, because like a board state that Sosa could create could be like triple Goodra, possibly. Like if Sosa can net this Comfy out of play at some point before it gets taken out by Makani, then Sosa could go Goodra, 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 and just go Goodra, Goodra, Goodra from there. And then like that's almost an impossible board state, I think, for Makani to deal with. So I don't know if I love putting the Cram in play here as Sosa. That might be a little bit of a little bit of an unlikely scenario to create, though, from Sosa. So I don't hate it. Another Temple of Sinnoh, and here comes the first attack from Sosa. And this is where Sosa should be able to like take over the game, I feel like. We attack here. Hit. I guess Espeon can survive a 2-hit with a Hyper Potion, which would be pretty cool. There's the Charon's Care. Espeon's going to come up. Or you could shuffle Luminion back in the deck here as Makani. Oh, actually, you can't do that because of the Temple of Sinnoh. As long as Makani realizes that, you got to go with the Espeon here. And yeah, so Sosa should be able to survive 2 hits here and then use the V-Star power. So here comes a hit for 100. And there's no way, I don't think, that Makani can hit for 170 damage here. Yeah, there's that net I was talking about. Like I said, it's possible that if Sosa like can net the Comfy out of play, you could go with like a 2-turn KO. It definitely needs to take the Mirage Gate here, I think, as Sosa. I think not taking the Mirage Gate would be a mistake here as Sosa. I think you need a Mirage Gate at some point. And it's kind of realizing that right now, I think. You potentially want to keep the capture. Because you do need to set up another Goodra somehow. Like, you need to be able to find a way to set up a Goodra. Potentially set up a Goodra. Actually, it's possible that Sosa could get away without ever setting up another Goodra here in this game, to be honest. Gets rid of the Mirage Gate, though. Rod, capture, net, boss. Like I said, probably doesn't need to V-Star this turn, so you should just be able to swing for 200. I don't think Makani can do 170, or no, not 170, 250 damage next turn. I think Sosa's trying to make sure. You know, you don't want to get caught off guard, but Yeah, I mean, it's the point of this deck in like a matchup like this. You're getting 3-hit KO'd. So actually, can Sosa just win this whole game with one Goodra? I feel like Sosa maybe can. Oh, Starbirth hasn't been used yet. I didn't think about that, to be honest. But so Starbirth hasn't been used, but Makani doesn't play Escape Rope. He plays 2 Goodra V, 3 VSTAR. I know. But he plays 2 Ordinary Rod, so you can set up triple Goodra. Yeah, Makani doesn't play Escape Rope. If Makani played Escape Rope here, actually, Sosa would probably just lose. But there's no Escape Rope in Makani's deck. You get the Collapse Stadium. Is playing a Quick Ball. Has a Research in hand as well. So might actually discard this Espeon off the board. We're probably going to see an Arceus, or it goes with the Empoleon, actually. No Arceus, favoring the Empoleon. I guess once you get through this first Goodra, maybe you want to KO it with... could you KO it with Empoleon? That'd be hard KO, I think. I don't think you can KO it with Empoleon. There's a Collapse. Discards the Pumpkaboo. Okay, so could discard the Espeon. Decides to discard the Pumpkaboo. There's the heal on the Espeon, so the Espeon will survive another turn. And then a smack for 100 from Makani. Now we'll see the V-Star power here from Sosa, healing 200 damage. Doesn't actually get the KO on the Espeon. I guess that is like the value of the Espeon. And actually discarding the Pumpkaboo from Makani does set it up so that you don't have that one prizer in play for Sosa to go like KO 3 prizer, KO 2 prizer, KO 1 prizer. There is still a Luminion on the bench that can be one-hit KO'd, but Israel with the boss on the Arceus and the punch. Interesting. I almost would like to have seen Israel go after Luminion, maybe. If you like chase a Luminion here as Israel, you could maybe get the other Goodra V off the prize cards and start to set that up. I wouldn't have hated to see that from Israel, to be honest. It goes for the punch on the Arceus. I don't hate that either. Just start to pressure one of the attackers, but I don't know. Like the Espeon is still a threat, so I don't know how I feel about this play from Israel. Like even once you get through this Arceus, the Espeon is just coming back to the active and smacking you, right? So I'm not sure how I feel about this play from Sosa, unless Sosa's like hoping for kind of try and buy a free turn or force Makani to like hard retreat the Arceus and lose the energy. That could be it as well. I guess you never get a free turn here as Israel, because like no matter what, Makani's going to retreat to the Espeon. It does make it awkward for Makani though if they don't draw an energy here, because then you just don't attack this turn. If you retreat the Espeon, you don't have another attack to make. All right, Makani went for an Arceus V. Can't bench it though because of the collapsed. So their own collapse working against them a little bit. Capture to the Arceus. And we're just going to see a swing with the Arceus. So got the energy. Yeah, I'm not sure about that boss there from Sosa. It does keep Makani's bench trapped, and now you get your 2 prize cards. I'm not sure about it. We're going to see the 2 prize cards get grabbed here. I already mentioned, yeah, the Goodra V in Sosa's prize cards, though, is in the last 2 prize cards. There's no way Sosa's going to get to it. So it's going to have to be like an ordinary rod recovery here from Sosa in a couple turns. All right, now the Arceus makes his way onto the bench. Makani's going to swing with the Espeon for 100 damage, and then try and get that final KO. Oh, doesn't attach return, actually. Maybe chose to hold on to it on purpose. That's possible. We could see another boss from Sosa, but actually the punch on the Espeon here from Sosa means next turn the Cram, I guess, could get the knockout. So the Cram is going to be coming in clutch here, I guess, from Sosa in the end. It was probably correct to set up. Like I was talking about, like potentially not setting up the Cram to try and go the triple Goodra route, but when you have a Goodra V prize, it's probably too hard to try and set up. So probably just setting up the Cram the way Israel did is probably just correct, because it does set up all the 2-hit KOs on every Pokemon that Makani plays. Maybe Makani didn't have an energy. I thought Makani had an energy in hand. No, there was an energy. There was a double turbo that could have been attached last turn. Chose to hold on to it. Now it's making its way down onto the Arceus. Thinking about it. Switch into Empoleon, actually. Okay. Actually, no, I'm a little bit confused. Okay, then attach to the Arceus. What's the option of the pivot? I mean, that's fine, of course. Curious that Makani didn't attach last turn to the Arceus. An Ultra Ball, continue to thin out the deck, grabs an Arceus, and then I assume we're going to see the retreat into the Espeon and take the knockout here on the Goodra. And then that next turn for Sosa will be able to go Cramorant knockout, plus Ordinary Rod the Goodra back to the deck and capture it back into play. And there's even a Comfey send up as well. So here's the Ordinary Rod. We're Covers both Goodra pieces and some energy. Metal and a water. Here comes the capture energy down onto the Cramorant. Might net the Comfey and keep it out of play. I don't know why you would need to do that, though. I think you could still have gone... I guess you're going to net the Comfey. But you could have put, like, double Comfey in play and netted one later as Sosa. Got a Marnie as well to work with. You might even want to play that this turn if there's no... No, we have the VSTAR in hand, but there's a VSTAR in the deck. So if you have no gate in hand, maybe you do want a Marnie. Yeah, I like the Marnie here, I think, from Sosa. The capture on the active is interesting. I guess you want to make sure you can move your Cram here as Sosa. But you could have gone captured to the Comfey. Got the gates and got plenty of metal energy for Sosa. No V-Star, though. All right, another gate happening. Could even put an energy. I'd like to see an energy grabbed here, I think. I think there was a metal in there that Sosa could have grabbed and put on the Comfey there. And also, Sosa didn't... No, Sosa did attach it for an attached capture. I think we could have grabbed the metal there and put it on the Comfey, maybe. I don't know, just thin out the deck a little bit more because you want to draw... You also want to be able to retreat the Comfey and attach return to the Goodra. A triple metal in hand is unfortunate there for Sosa. That was not a great draw. That was a pretty bad Marnie there. I think there was maybe still the fourth metal in the deck. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, third prize card for Sosa. They forgot to draw 3. All right, Sosa forgot to draw 3 prize cards. So they didn't find the Goodra V, but that's fine at this point. I think maybe that third prize card was a draw supporter as well. So Sosa just needs one. Oh, no, just a pass here from Makani. So Makani did whiff the energy. Colress top deck here for Sosa. Some good options there. I think Sosa's definitely going to be able to attack this turn. And then has Boss in hand to win the game next turn. There's only 8 minutes left in the round. We will be finally seeing a game 3 here, I think, where Makani will be going first. Retreat off the Cram. Swing with the Goodra. 200 damage. So the capture on the Cram ended up working out here for Sosa. I was a little bit skeptical of it actually being able to do anything because I was like, well, Makani's probably just attacking next turn. Maybe you want to be able to guarantee pivot your Comfey. You could have like net reset your Comfey. You could like use Comfey first, net reset it, capture to it. Here comes a Boss from Makani to try and stall the Cram, but we know there's plenty of energy in the hand for Sosa and a Boss to go with it. Retreat to Aerodactyl doesn't matter. I'm not sure what is being discussed now. Something illegal done? Wait, did Israel use Comfey under Empoleon? Is that what happened? Now that I'm thinking about it. No, okay, maybe not. Well, they're continuing play. There's the retreat. Go to game 3. Okay. All right, so going to game 3, 2 Mirage Gate is prized for Sosa. That doesn't really matter if you can find one. Empoleon prize from Makani. It's been like an aggressive option for Makani we've seen in game 1. Game 2, not so much, so that could hurt them. Especially if you're just trying to slow down the game as Makani and be like, because like I said, I think this is an unfavorable matchup for Makani, for sure. Definitely an unfavorable matchup for Makani. I don't know why Israel benched the Goodra. But Makani didn't use Escape Rope when it would have won them the game, so maybe as Sosa here, you're like, there's no way they play Escape Rope. So yeah, I guess that could be what's happening here from Sosa. It definitely needs to discard one more card here as Makani. There's the Ultra Ball. I think Makani is like favoring the Hyper Potions a little bit too much in the matchup. I think they're okay. They don't change a ton of your math though, to be honest. If Goodras are swinging into you, like it only like heals your Espeon out of range, I'm pretty sure. Like if a Goodra hits an Arceus and you heal 120, you have 80 on you, you still get KO'd. So I think Makani is like favoring these Hyper Potions a little bit too much. I would have held the Marnie there over the Hyper Potion here, I think. Just to make sure you have a draw supporter next turn, disrupt the hand that Sosa potentially builds up, especially if you get an energy here. I think it's an energy whiff here from Makani. There's only 2 minutes left in the round. So my guess is going to be, And the heavy ball actually leads to the Empoleon, and Makani has the air balloon. So going to be able to send up the Empoleon turn 1 here. Yeah, I think we're going to see a tie here overall. There's 2 minutes left in the round, and neither of these decks are very fast at drawing prize cards into this matchup. So retreat to the Empoleon and pass. This will slow down. Oh no, did get the double turbo energy. I take it back. I thought there wasn't an energy. But debating between Arceus and Empoleon, and goes with the attach on the Arceus. I like the Arceus attach here. Empoleon's a little bit slower into the matchup, so if you're trying to win the game, I don't think Sosa ever has time to win this game, and Makani probably knows that. So going the more aggressive route on the Makani side is probably correct, just in case Sosa draws pretty poorly. But once again, I think the Hyper Potion hold there from Makani over the Marnie was probably incorrect. I'm not a huge fan of that. We'll see how it ends up playing out, though. Sinnoh from Sosa and pass. There's the Starbirth. So we can see Starbirth here for a switch card plus an energy. Another Arceus comes down. I like that. I think Arceus in this matchup is probably just your best attacker. I guess, like I said, the Espeon is okay. The Espeon's okay, I guess. Maybe it doesn't matter too much. Like Espeon, your 3-hit KOA no matter what. So Espeon's as good. And Espeon does give you a good target to there. And just a pass from Makani. So I think Makani is like literally just playing for the tie here at this point then. Because could have got aggressive here and chose not to. Because has Starbirth, right? Unless I'm just like tripping. So could have Starbirthed for... I mean, maybe a way to attack this turn. Like you need a switch card, a way to bump the Temple and an energy, which is a little bit, I guess. If you keep Empoleon in the active, you might be safe for another turn. But... you know, Sosa is kind of just an escape rope away from probably being able to get out of this situation, so I don't know. There's another energy. And it's just going to be... Okay, now we see the Starbirth. So maybe Makani was just going to wait a turn and now Starbirth this turn. Because you do need to get rid of the Stadium and you need a switch card, which is like... That's already 2 pieces. I don't know. And I think time was called. Yeah, time was called there, so... Yeah, agree to tie. Not going to play out those +3 turns. Yeah, so I think definitely a favorable matchup for Sosa. I think game 1, the biggest thing that hurt Sosa was just using the... I think Sosa used the VSTAR a turn early. Should have just like bet on Makani not having the KO. And if Makani has the KO, then you just go to the next game a little bit sooner. But definitely a... Definitely a favorable matchup, I think, for Sosa, for sure. Definitely a favorable matchup. So I'm sure Sosa's not super happy with a tie in this first round.